Ah, that's better. All right. Music off, quick. All right, I've got whoopsie. Right, I've got all you guys on mute, if that's all right, but I can see a few of you showing your video. So for those who are showing your video, just give me a quick thumbs up if you can hear me clearly, please. Brilliant, 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 brilliant. Okay, cool. So first time I'm kind of using this platform, so you've got to excuse me if I kind of get a bit lost and look vaguely, blankly at the screen quickly, but I've got you on a kind of grid video, so I can see myself and I can see all you guys there as well, so super cool. Yeah, just a few more people are coming through the kind of waiting room, so hopefully we won't be too much longer and we can get started. I believe this is a 40-minute kind of session that we get on the basic platform. So scheduled half an hour with a 5-10 minute kind of you know, window for going over and yakking on about random stuff. All right, so let me see if anybody's in the waiting room. Yep, still a few people in the waiting room. I thought they would just pile in, but you've got to admit them all. So has anybody got their chocolate with them? Wine, gin, anything? No, all being super healthy. What is it? I can't see that, Andrew. What is that? Is that a beer? Cider? I can't see it. The things. What is it? Copperberg. Very nice, mate. Very nice. Oh, and we got pets too. I see a fluffy dog. Very nice. Very, very nice. All right. Very nice there. All right, cool. So for those guys who just been coming into the so-called meeting, just waiting on the last minute or two in case anybody's just hanging around and coming into the, I think people go to the waiting room first and I've got to admit them. So just making sure I'm getting this right. Oh, somebody else. Feel like a bouncer at a nightclub. Admit, yes, you're in. Yes, you're in. All right, cool. Hide this quickly. Right, that's pretty wicked. Right, I see it's about 20, 22 people here. Brilliant, 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 brilliant. 2 more seconds. Oh, there's more. I'd rather just wait a few moments now than admit people as they come in, then try to kind of start and then have to keep checking my screen and admitting people. So apologies, shouldn't be too much longer. For those who are all sharing the video, which is probably about just over half of you, are you all right if I take a quick photo of all of your lovely faces on the screen? Is that all right? Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. You all look lovely tonight, by the way, might add. 2 seconds. Here we go. There we go. Yeah, quite small anyway, so that's all good. All right, just, what time is it? Nearly 5 past. Oh, somebody else. Cool, brilliant. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm just going to get started. Can everybody see that writing fairly well? Or is it a bit dark? Can you kind of make it out? Wee bit small? Not really. Wee bit small. All right, okay. I'll sort that out in a quick second. It's the blue that's the problem, I think. All right, cool. Can you see the kind of black though?
Yeah.
The black clearer? Yeah, okay, cool. All right, sweet. So I'll just use the black mark when it comes to it then. It is a bit dark in this room, so that's fine. Cool, so I'm gonna get started. Thank you so much again for just kind of joining me. I just a bit of an ad hoc decision yesterday to do a bit of a meeting. I was going to do something on my Group X community page, but I thought it worthwhile checking out what the Zoom crack is all about, seeing as everybody's on it. So a few objectives for tonight. Primarily, we're going to just quickly discuss the changes, obviously, from your normal routine to kind of lockdown routine and how that affects your total energy balance. Because it's not quite as simple as just saying, moving from 20 classes to 6 home workouts, therefore I need to cut 300, 400, 500 calories. There are quite a few changes obviously to go on with energy in and obviously energy out. Then I'm going to look at essentially one of the biggest questions that came about when the lockdown first happened, and that was how much food less shall I be eating? Should it be 5%, 10%, 15, 20? You know, how much food less should I be eating, and how should I adjust my macronutrients to kind of suit? So we'll have a quick chat into that, and then hopefully the big kind of takeaway is going to be giving you an example as to what I've done with one of my clients. So one of the clients that I've had obviously before lockdown, what their average macronutrients were, and then what their average macronutrients are now during lockdown. Okay, so just give you a bit of an example as to see how I've tailored and tweaked their macros and their calories to align and adjust from normal to what they're kind of doing now, obviously being at home. Okay, so that should hopefully be quite useful for you to kind of take away with. And then lastly, I'm just going to leave you, everybody likes a list, I guess. So I've just got 5 kind of top tips to think about focusing on nutrition for the next 3, 4, 5 weeks, however long it may be. So just 5 simple tips to kind of focus on moving forward. Okay, and that should be it. Hopefully we'll be done within about a half an hour. I am aware that when I get really excited and I talk about nutrition, I speak at 100 miles an hour. So if I go off like a jet rocket, somebody just tell me to like slow the fuck down a little bit. Okay, there may be the occasional swear word as well, so I apologize in advance for that. But yeah, it's just going to be fairly kind of relaxed and just jumping straight into it. After this, I'll probably send an email tomorrow morning, just looking for feedback. If there's any questions that you still would like kind of answered, then please feel free to use those emails. If there is anything that you want me to discuss next week, perhaps I can do something similar again, then let me know, and I'll happily jump on board and do something again. Okay, so hopefully this will be fairly worthwhile and beneficial, right? More people coming in, so I'll just keep rolling. All right, cool. So very first up, so the changes that will be kind of made essentially is, so one, if you think about the 4 things that take up your energy outputs, okay, that is your thermal effective food, so your TEF, your non-exercise activity, so like your walking, your steps, your job, your lifestyle, your actual exercise activities, that's your classes, your training, your CrossFit, all that kind of stuff, your classes, and any other additional training, and then obviously your metabolism, your BMR as well, okay? So BMR is the biggest one, takes about 60% of your total output, then followed by NEAT and your exercise, so those 2, and then lastly at about 10 to 15% is your thermal effective food, okay? So those 4 things make up your whole energy output. So although your, class duration, your number of classes have gone from, example, 15 classes a week now to say 5 home workouts where you're either doing it yourself or as a participant, but essentially your exercise duration intensity could have gone from, could have been halved, could have been a quarter, 3/4, 2/3, whatever. It's taken a big chunk away from it. It's probably not as big change in your total output as you probably think, because we use a lot of our calorie counters. Body Attack burns 500, Body Combat burns 600, all this kind of stuff. We take those numbers as verbatim when they're just quite rough guides, okay? So if you think, right, instead of doing 15 classes, now I'm only doing 5, then I'm now going to be, my energy output is reduced by between 500 to 1,000 calories per day, which in effect, in reality, it isn't that much at all, okay? As long as we keep eating some similar foods that are high in kind of protein, high fruit, high veg, as long as we maintain a fairly active step count. So whether we are going on for long walks, whether we're riding a bike, whether we're spending more time outdoors, gardening, playing with the kids, whatever it may be, walking the dog, then our BMR is not going to drastically change as long as you're not starving yourself. So that's probably one of the key ones that I've probably had conversation with clients with, where I've reduced the average calories by between 100 and 150, and they've thought, shouldn't it be bigger? I should be maybe going from 1800 down to like 1200 or 1300. But if we suddenly go into one of those drastic calorie diet kind of approaches, it is going to affect our biggest energy output, which is our BMR, our metabolism. Okay, so in order to keep that kind of stoked, in order to keep that away from becoming really efficient, then we still need to try and eat as well as we can. So in effect, in essence, although you're teaching a lot less, your daily calories haven't dropped by 500, 800, 1,000, if that makes sense, okay? And I'll use one example later on to kind of put that across. With everything else, in terms of NEAT and a non-exercise, then although you're not teaching, you could be doing a lot of other things that you wouldn't be doing before, all right? So you can give me a little thumbs up if you are walking more often, yeah, we are cycling more often, we're doing other things more often, you're probably cleaning the house more often than you've done before because you've got all the spare time. So if you remember back to your level 2, level 3 stuff, things like housework, half an hour of housework burns up 400 or 500 calories. That's a body combat class in effect, okay? Obviously not quite as sweaty, but you're using all multi-joints, you're reaching, you're lowering, you're picking things up and down the stairs, all that kind of stuff. So it still has a big whack, a big impact. Okay. Yeah. Is everybody on mute? Just to make sure, because I think there's a little bit of noise coming through. Just if everybody's on mute, you just quickly double check. Sorry. I see a lot of mutes here, but there must be maybe 1 or 2 people just by mistake. All right. I've got 2 pages here as well, actually. Let me flip the page. Yeah. Cool. All right. Right. Back where we were. Yeah. So it's just not as much of a huge jump as we initially thought. Right, I've lost where my screen is. I need to look at myself. I know it sounds weird. I can't talk. There we are. All right. Yes, so it's not as big as you kind of think because you're spending more time around the garden, you're walking a lot more than you used to do, you're cycling more than we kind of used to do, and we're doing more housework, more garden work, all this kind of stuff, which is really good. It's really, really kind of cool, okay, obviously amidst the circumstances. So that's the kind of first point I just wanted to try and get out of the way really kind of early. Secondly, the big question that came up really early when we went into lockdown was how much food less should we eat, so we know we're doing a little bit less, we're not teaching as much, we're not on our feet as much, all that kind of stuff, but we still probably need to be in a bit of a deficit because we're just not as highly active and our workouts may not be as intense, okay? So the guidance that I've kind of gone with originally is somewhere between 10 and 20% less across your whole week. So 10 to 20%, if you have followed anything along from a chap called Lyle McDonald, any kind of dieting approaches for general population, you talk about a slight, a moderate, and a severe calorie deficit. And the general guidance is like 10, 20, and 30%. Okay, that's the kind of generic guidance for people who are overweight, sedentary, general population, wanting to move from being a little bit overweight and being a bit slimmer and kind of leaner. You either go down a slight deficit approach, a moderate one, or a extreme severe one. It's 10, 20, or 30% is generally the kind of guide. So 10 to 20% is a slightly kind of moderate cut from where we normally are. And all the clients that have done moving from normal to sort of a lockdown calorie, they've worked out between 10 and 15%, okay? Because the main focus that we're going to focus on in 2, 3, 4 weeks time is continually to check body weight, to continue to check body composition, continually check energy, mood, sleep, all that kind of stuff. And if we're checking in and we're tracking and assessing ourselves, that will be the best and truest form of, is this working or not? All right. So if I've given somebody, say, like a 10% average kind of cut, within 2 to 4 weeks, we will know whether that's enough or not enough. Okay. If I've gone to kind of 20, it's jumping too far too soon, and we could end up affecting all those energy outputs inversely. All right. So it's been a bit wiser, it's been a bit smarter, being a bit more careful. Boring, old school common sense. We'll take the 10 to 15 approach first. We'll see how that goes and make sure the body weight stays the same, or if a little bit less, ideally, instead of jumping too far too soon and then trying to kind of work our way back, if that makes sense. Okay, so the majority of the clients that have moved across are between 10 and 15%. And the example that I'll use up on the board later is around 12%. Okay, so yeah, anywhere around about 10 to 20 is not a bad place to start if you track. Now, if you don't track, I know most of us don't track. I track sort of intermittently every now and again, just to make sure I'm kind of on the right path. But if you don't track, it's as simple as looking at your food plate, your portion size, right? So whether it's a pizza, whether it's spaghetti bolognese, whether it's whatever it may be, whatever you have for your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If you think about dividing it up into five, not quadrants, five bits, 5 equal portion sizes, and scoop one back, right? So if you think about dishing up to your normal portion size and thinking, hang on, I'm not doing what I used to be doing. I'm going to eat 10 to 20% less. I'm going to take, a chunk of that back off the plate. All right. It's small, little, simple things like that can then make an effect where you still eat the same foods, you still maintain the same routine, nothing drastic changes. So with all the things going on about stress and anxiety and everything else, the uncertainty, the last thing we need to now is start taking away foods that we like, or foods that we kind of turn to in these sort of times. Okay, so it's just a simple way of controlling portion and controlling total calories by taking a little bit back off. Some other kind of like general population weight tips is for dinners, instead of having your big kind of round wheel-sized plates, is to actually have your meal either in a small bowl or in a small side plate. Okay, have it in a small side plate first, eat it slowly, don't inhale it, wait 5 minutes and see if you're still hungry. You may want a little bit more. You may not want a bit more because you're being full, right? It's a very modern day thing for us to have bigger portion sizes, although our activity is not really kind of matching up. So those are two little things to kind of think about when you are, dishing up your food and your portion sizes. That will help control that calorie intake from, say, being 2,000 down to 1,800 or whatever. Okay. Only for time. That's 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes gone. Cool. All right. So here comes the fun part. A little quiz, a little challenge for you to try to decipher my handwriting up on the board. Okay. I can probably try and move this a bit forward if you give me 2 seconds. I'm currently bouncing a chair on top of my daughter's high chair. Underneath a shoebox, there lies a laptop. So let me just see if I can get this closer for you. If you hear a crash, you know what's going on. That, okay. Can you see that writing up there? Some thumbs up, some thumbs up. Cool. I'm going to check something. If I put this light on, the problem is the light's really bright. Better or worse? Much the same. A couple of thumbs up. All right, cool. So 1 or 2 of these ones, and then more of these ones. So we'll go with these ones. All right, cool. So where are we? So this is an example of Sarah, one of my clients. So 65 kilograms body weight. That is around about 10 stone and 4 or 5 pounds, something like that. Okay. So kind of average body weight. So normally when I work with clients, I'll give them like a high calorie day and a low calorie day. Okay, the high calorie day goes to when they're teaching 2 hours or more. And a low calorie day essentially is for a rest day or like a low activity, low class teaching day. All right, so it's like might be just a body balance perhaps, or one kind of cycle class. That will be classed as like a low activity. Anything that's got a pump into attack or a couple of grits or 2 or 3 hours, that's a high activity day. So to save for confusion, I've just merged them together and gone for the average. Okay, so we'll do average like before, and then we'll do an average kind of lockdown, and we'll look at the kind of difference in terms of what macros have really changed and how your total calories have changed as well. Okay, so bear with me. So I'll happily tell you the secret, right? There is no real kind of massive secret. You work off of different like numbers and ratios, protein, carbs, and fats off of total body weight. Total body weight works really, really well unless the person, the client, is rather obese. Because the person is rather obese or quite kind of heavy, then you're multiplying by a number that's not reflecting their kind of lean muscle mass. Okay, so as long as your client is not sort of 35% above kind of body weight, that ×2, ×3 kind of body weight approach works quite well. Otherwise, you go back to the kind of like percentage ratios of 30, 40, 30 or whatever it may be. Okay. So this is the average before, okay? So body weight times 1.8 for protein, body weight times 3.8 for carbs, and then fat will be 20% of total calories. Okay, so off the top of my head, I'll write this down here. That's it. Check that's right. Yeah. So 120, 250, 41. Okay. So that's an average kind of before. Sorry, Zoom's giving me a gift. Piss off. Go away. Busy. Right. So this is before. Okay. And that equals 1850 calories. Okay. So for my client who normally teaches around about 50, for Sarah who teaches 12 classes a week, that's her average calories, okay? So her higher day will be a little bit higher than that, and her lower day will be a little bit lower than that, but that's just the average, okay? 1.8 for protein, 3.8 for carbs, fat's at 20%. That's the key points there, all right? Feel free to write that down if you wish. And then move on to after lockdown, okay? And I've got two different examples here, but I'll give you the first one. So from protein, I'm going to increase protein because I want to increase TEF, okay? In order to maintain your lean muscle mass, protein is absolutely critical, okay? Absolutely critical. So this is going to be times 2. You can have up to literally 3.2 grams per kilogram body weight, okay? Generically, I've always said for the fitness instructor, for somebody partaking in a lot of group exercise, a lot of strength training, a lot of HIIT training, anywhere between 1.6 and 2 is a pretty good space to kind of be, okay? Generic population is really, really different. They can be lower. They can be at 1 or 1.2, 1.4, okay? But we're not normal, okay? Well, you're not normal, certainly not, okay? Because of all the activity that we do. So 1.6 to 2. Because now we're teaching a lot less, we need to think about upping protein a bit higher to help keep our energy output high and keep us feeling full. So times 2, that will be 130. Now carbs, right? If you followed me for a little while, you would have hopefully remembered or heard or, what's the right word? Yeah, be familiar with me saying that carb is your energy, right? The more active you are, you fire up carbs. If you are teaching 20 classes a week, you need to be up at 4s and 5s, okay? It's the elite athletes, like the cyclists, the swimmers, they up at 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, okay? So heading up to like 3, 4, and 5 times body weight is not a problem if you are that active, which most of you are, okay? So, but here's the change. Obviously, we're changing circumstance. We're not burning up that much energy, particularly in a high intensity field, which mostly uses carbs and glucose. So instead of like 3.8, we're going to drop down to 3. 3 times that is 205, 215, 215, 195. It's like 195. Fat, we'll keep it at 20% to see how that works. And that comes out as 36 grams. That is 16.25, okay? So the difference between there, 225 calories. Divide 225 by 1850 and you get 12%, okay? So it aligns with what I've kind of said, roughly between that 10 and 15 is a pretty good place to be initially, all right? So you can see the slight differences. We've increased protein just a little bit. Carbs has been the major drop. That's where essentially we've created most of our deficit here. But it's not a huge deficit. It's not massive. You know, 225 calories. That is a Kit Kat chunky bar. Somebody told me. Okay, 225 calories. That's it. It's just a fucking bar of chocolate. All right. It's a Yazoo chocolate milkshake. It's nothing huge really. Fat just gone down because total calories are down. Okay, about 5 grams difference. So nothing too bad. Okay. Now you must say, right, that's fine. That's fair enough. Okay, we've worked around those numbers. The biggest thing here is protein is high, 2 or 2.2. We've dropped carbs, but again, it's nothing. We've not dropped it to like keto or anything ridiculous. It's still like 200 grams carbohydrate, right? Still plenty of fuel there for you, right? Plenty of choices with your foods. the odd bit of drink, odd bit of gin, odd bit of chocolate. You don't need to stress about having 200 grams of carbs at all, okay? And 36 grams of fat. Now, you may like to have, if you're like me, I like my my dairy, my beef, salmon, nuts, all that kind of stuff. So you may struggle hitting these numbers, particularly this number, protein number, and we're having such a low fat number, all right? So what are you gonna do? This is what you'll do. Keep protein as it is, okay? Because that is probably the most important macronutrient out of all three. Keep that where it is. We've got to change these two. So it's just like a set of scales, set of balance. If you rob from one, you've got to kind of pick up from the other one, okay? So let's drop carbs down to 2.5. Oh, you need this, right? Need that. Right, 2.5, which is 160. You can up this now to 28%, which will give you 50. Okay? And total calories stay the same. Okay, which you know is the biggest, most important thing, energy balance. So 1625 with the other way, or 1625 that way, whichever you prefer. Okay? The two main things are this, that. How you do up these is really your choice. Okay? Really your choice. You can even alternate them between Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, whatever you want, to have a kind of slightly higher fat day and a slightly higher carb day, depending on. Keep your slightly higher carb days for the weekend when you're having a bit more relaxed social time at the back in the beer garden, having a few beers, etc. Whatever suits, all right? Whatever suits. It's just make it suit for yourself, okay? But either way, protein is high, is up. Carbs and fats, we just manipulate it. And we go back to what I said really early on. We're going for a 10 to 15% total calorie kind of deficit cut. And that is not huge, okay? It's not as huge as we might initially think, because you're thinking, sitting my ass, I'm not teaching 4 classes in a day. I need to cut like 1,000 calories. Do not cut 1,000 calories because you'll fuck up your metabolism quicker than anything else. You'll go like 10 steps backwards, and then you'll lose your lean muscle mass. You'll downgrade your metabolism. It's not a good place to kind of be. Okay, so keep doing what you're kind of doing, couple of home workouts, bit of hits, bit of weights if you can, and then get out, step count, and all that kind of stuff. Ride, bike, garden, cleaning, you name it. All right, everything that you've been doing. Right, that's that. So the last thing, just on time, near enough, about 5 minutes to go, is my 5 top tips, and I've already kind of touched on one, so it's a bit shit planning, but there you go. So 5 top tips, okay? First one, keep your protein high, all right? Take your body weight times about 2 or 2.2. That's it, okay? So ladies, no, most of you, you're probably between, it's always working kilograms, okay? One benefit from coming from South Africa, we always work in kilograms. You'll probably be between 60 and 70 kilograms, okay? Between 10, 11 stone perhaps, okay? I'm not sure how that works out, okay? Times about 2, you'll be up at 120, 130, 140, no problem, okay? Try to get most of your obviously your protein from food. Divide up this total or that total, either one, that total by 3 or 4, and you work out 4 portions of 30 grams, 120. 4 portions of, what did I say, 30, 35 grams, 140. Okay, one of those portions can be a whey protein shake in the middle of the afternoon or the middle of the morning, and build it around your 3 main meal times. Okay. We can now have the routine, the structure of our breakfast, lunch, dinner, if it suits us. That can be obviously food, but it's got 30 grams of protein in it. And then you can have one whey shake whenever it suits, somewhere in between. All right. Massive, massive thing for muscle protein synthesis, for maintaining lean muscle tissue. Okay. And keeping your strength and your fitness, 100%. Okay. Next one is fruit and veg. All right. Just eat up the fruit and veg as much as you can. Okay. Not as much as you can, but as much as you can within reason, obviously. But fruit and veg, really, really kind of key. Soups, salads, now the weather's a bit kind of warmer. Barbecues will be kind of brilliant. Fruit and veg. Pick your 2-3 fruits, your top 3 veg, and make sure you try to get them in every day. Next up, give yourself, I know it's just Easter, so we talk about chocolate a lot because it's Easter, but I say to a lot of clients, give yourself a 200 calorie freebie every day. All right, so when I talk about a freebie, if you're working off of this number or this number, give yourself 200 calories of pure enjoyment every day, right? Stop stressing about like always having to eat healthy, clean, and steamed or whatever else. Give yourself a chocolate bar, half a Galaxy, a mini Magnum, whatever it may be, a bit of ice cream, a little treat every now and again. If you take 200 off of 1600, it's not a huge portion. As long as it comes at these numbers, 20, 30 grams, it's fine, manageable, right? You're not going to gain weight because you're having 200 calories of dairy every now and again, or dairy milk chocolate, whatever it is, okay? Yeah, hits and step count, those are two big things. So if you can do 2 sessions of hit twice a week. Sorry, do 2 sessions of hit per week, if that makes sense, okay? And then step count. Phone, a watch, a cheap step count watch. Work out for the next 3 days, how many steps you're getting in. Increase about 10% for the next 3 weeks, every week, to see how you get, okay? Maybe at 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, to aim to up about another 500, aim to up about another 1,000, and set that as a daily target, all right? 10,000 steps a day, okay? Easy as. It's an easy way of just keeping yourself ticking over. And the last one, more of a mindful thing, is to be kind and realistic, okay? You cannot really compare previous, before lockdown to what we're doing now, okay? It's difficult to try directly compare one between the other, okay? Our training will be a bit different. Our routine will be different, okay? It's more of a kind of mindset, accepting that this is just it's a different thing. It's a different beast. It's very new. It's hard to get your head around. Might take some of us maybe just a week. Might take some of us 3, 4, 5 weeks, okay? I've had friends that have seemed to be totally cool with it, and then all of a sudden last week they're kind of losing their shit kind of thing, because it's that kind of delayed response where I'm fine, and then all of a sudden it just hits them that they can't see their family or the friends, or in this instance, they're like mum. So, you know, we're all a bit different, okay? Main thing is, if I look at my social media, if I have a flick scroll and I see 500 fitness instructors, within a day, I might see 20 of them posting glorious, lovely highlights of working the back garden and doing this. The other, whatever I said, the other 480 will be doing sweet fuck all, could be doing nothing, okay? Then the next day, I view a different 20. So the perception is that everybody's having a wonderful time, everybody's training all the time, everybody's doing a Zoom workout, and everybody's doing this, and this, whatever, when in fact, you're seeing them that one instance within a week. But the appearance on social media, if you have more than a couple of hundred people, which most of us will do, is that everybody's loving it, everybody's doing fine, everybody's whatever, when in fact, you're only seeing that snapshot of obviously your friends list or your followers or whatever it might be, if that makes sense. Hopefully I explained that fairly well, okay? So yeah, just be kind and be realistic to yourself, okay? Hopefully you won't be in this for too much longer, but routine, opportunity, and accountability, big 3 things which I banged all about last week, and which will be remaining here for the next few weeks, no doubt, okay? That's it. So tomorrow I think I'm doing this recording. It says recording, so hopefully it does work. I'll send the recording if I can. I'm not sure how that works, but I'll try to figure it out. I'll try to send, if anybody wants, I can send some planners through. I can send some few recipes through. I can send just a bunch of stuff that I've got that will hopefully help you over the next few weeks. But if you enjoyed it, let me know. Pop me a message on either one of the socials, or reply to the email. Let me know if it was useful. If there's anything, more importantly, if there's anything that you do want to be discussed or talked about, then let me know, okay? I'll happily jump back on next week and do another session. All right, so I'll not keep you any much longer. Thank you very much for joining me on your Tuesday night. Hope you're well, hope you're good, and great to see so many smiley faces. And that's about it, really. This pretty much wrapped up, I guess. So we'll talk soon, and maybe if you would like, I'll see you sometime next week or whenever. All right, cool. So I'm going to kick you out of the meeting now, apparently. So cheerio. See you later. Bye.